On Face to Face, we do the interviews where we ask the questions of duty bearers and understand how their various sectors are doing. And if they are in the news, we put the issues to them and they answer. On Face to Face today, my guest is the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture, and we are going to talk about that sector, what has been happening. You've been seeing issues about locking the sea, opening the sea. How has that been changing the industry generally? My name is Umaru Sandamadan. You're welcome to Face on YouTube. Subscribe to our link and share the word that Face to Face is live on YouTube. My guest on Face to Face is Member of Parliament. She represents the people of Kasua. That's not the name of the constituency, but she is the one who runs the Kasua constituency. She's described by fisherfolk as Iron Lady Oba Tampa, a number of titles. She's a Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture. She once served as Minister for Special Development Initiatives under President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Honorable Hawa Mavis Koomson, you're welcome to Face to Face.
Thank you, Mavis. And
how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Yourself?
I'm well. How is the switch from SDI to Fisheries? 2 years on, I'm sure you would have survived. You are fine.
Oh yes. Initially, it wasn't easy. Switching from construction ministry to fisheries ministry, it wasn't easy. But if you are determined to learn, you will learn. So when I got here, I told my staff, the fisher folks, that look, I'm not a fisherwoman. My constituency, we don't have even the sea. We don't even have a river there.
Okay.
Not to talk about the sea. But the government or His Excellency has put me here to serve Mother Ghana. So I'm ready to learn from you, if only you would teach me. So they also embraced me wholeheartedly, and we started the work. By the grace of God, so far so good.
Have you sat on a canoe to go fishing yet? You should try that.
My people will not allow me. I don't know. Whenever I try to sit in and go for just few hours or minutes, they say no, it's very risky. But I'm determined. I'll have to do it before I leave the ministry. Or even to go on board with the vessels.
Okay.
I were to do it during the close season to patrol with the naval ship.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I think along the line, I traveled for the same purpose, so I couldn't join them.
It's always my wish to actually follow the fishermen who go at sea. I want to spend at least 1 week and see.
No, 1 week could be too much for you. I'll go with you for just a day.
I'll go with fisherman's friend. That's what they take.
Yes.
Anyway, so when you came to the ministry, what was your broad agenda? What did the presidency go and do for him in the fishing sector?
Thank you, Moro. I must appreciate the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Sometimes you think he doesn't know what he's doing, especially when he's appointing ministers to various sectors. When he invited me and told me, Hawa, I want you to go to the Fisheries Ministry. For a moment, I was lost of words. I said, Mr. President, do you think I can manage this sector? He said, yes, I know your capabilities. And so he tasked me because he knew the situation here and told me that with my capability, he knows I'll be able to reform the sector. And especially when the species are being depleted, overfishing and a whole lot of illegal activities in the system, he knows I have a strong will and I'll be able to fight, especially the illegal activities. So he gave me the mandates and he has always been supportive. Whenever I run to him and tell him this is the situation I find myself, he helps me to solve it. So he's been very helpful. So
what was your immediate action at the ministry? What were the key things you decided, I know, this is what I need to tackle first, and how did you tackle them?
It's the illegal activities.
So at sea?
At sea, yeah.
I think there are a number of them, right?
There are a number of them.
So what are the illegalities?
The major ones were the cycle with the trawlers.
What is a cycle?
Yeah, that's transshipment at sea.
Okay.
Popularly known as cycle. When I took office, barely a month, we were slapped with yellow card from the EU. You know, we export our fish products to the European markets.
Okay.
And so they said we're doing illegal activities, and the major one is the transshipment.
What does that mean? What do they do? What is it?
The transshipment at sea is when they go in for the juveniles. They are not supposed to catch the juveniles.
So they are baby fish?
Yes, they are supposed to go in for the demersals. That's the big ones.
Okay.
That's the trawlers.
Okay.
That's what they are supposed to catch. But then they will spend so many months on sea and catch the juveniles, that's the small ones, which is meant for the artisanal fishers.
Okay.
And when they catch them, instead of them to even bring them to the port, they sell them to the same artisanal fishers on the sea.
Okay.
And not even only the fisheries.
So that's wrong.
It's very wrong.
Okay, so help me understand, what are the levels of fishermen on our sea? We see the canoe people at Jamestown, but then we see those who are called trawlers. Explain to me, so what are the levels? Artisanal, inland fishing, what is that?
Okay. First of all, when we talk about the trawlers, they are the people dealing with the ships, the vessels.
The big ones?
Big ones. And they go for deep fishing.
So they are the ones who go for many months?
Yeah.
Okay.
But for now, we have reduced the number of days that they spend there. We'll get there.
Okay.
And then we also have the canoes. They are the artisanals. They don't go too far. And they are the people using the wooden canoes. And we also have the inshore. The inshore, their canoes are a bit bigger than those with the normal canoes.
So the normal ones, they use paddles, or they also use outboard
They
motors?
also use outboard
so
motors.
They all use outboard
But with the inshore people, they use, their machine is like a car engine.
Okay, yes.
So they don't even use the premix.
Okay.
They use marine gas oil.
Okay.
And these people also use the premix. That's those that use the outboard motor.
So there are areas of operation for all of these people?
Yes, of course.
So which people operate at? How do you demarcate for them?
When you come close to the inshore are the artisanals.
Okay.
And so we have exclusive areas that they all have to operate. Okay. The trawlers don't have to come to the exclusive areas.
Okay.
That place is for the artisanals because they cannot go to the deep sea.
End, okay.
So you, the trawler, will have to go there and get the bigger ones. Then the artisanals will be at the shore and get the smaller ones. And that is those that sell daily and get their daily bread.
So when you say shipment, you mentioned something.
Transshipment.
Transshipment.
Yeah.
It means that the ones who are supposed to do the coastal areas, they go deep, go and buy from the big trawlers.
They don't go too deep. The trawlers come a bit closer. Because this ones, the artisanal, the canoe ones cannot go that far. Okay. So they will come closer
and sell to them. But if you allow these people to catch baby fish, and this one also goes to catch baby fish to come and sell, what is wrong with it?
There's something wrong with it.
What's wrong with it?
The issue is, one, selling on the sea is not allowed.
Okay.
So when we talk about transshipment, not only with fish, okay, maybe you are even transshipping weapons.
Or cargo, any cargo.
Anything.
It's not allowed.
It's not allowed. And so that is a law on itself. And that is why we don't allow them to sell to the fishers or the artisanal fishers on the sea.
Okay.
Apart from that, they are not supposed to catch the smaller ones, as I said earlier. So you cannot catch those ones and sell it to the same fishers. They are supposed to go and catch and sell it to the market women. And so if you go for the smaller ones and stay on the sea for about 6 months or 4 months and you continue catching the smaller ones, meanwhile we are still catching the bigger ones too. So you sell this one, and that one they don't pay any tax on it.
Okay.
And they don't even declare what they get. We are not able to, record the data that they have, and we need to take every data.
But wait, so is it not the net that decides how or determines what type of or size of fish you catch?
Exactly.
So the trawlers are not supposed to go with
the smaller nets,
but they do.
They do. We have now asked them to change it.
Wait, so these trawlers, are they Ghanaian vessels or foreign vessels? So that do they come back and dock at Tema or Takrady so that we can then check and inspect and see where did you go, what did you catch? Or they could be external vessels. How does it work?
You see, when we talk about the vessels, we have those that do the tuna. The tuna, they also land here, but for them, they are being regulated by ICAT, even though they are under the ministry here. But they are being regulated by ICAT.
Okay.
And these are the fish that we normally export to the EU market. It's the same thing that we use for the cannery and other things. So for them, we don't have so much issue with them. But with the trawlers, those that do the demersals, yes, they land their fish at our ports, Tema ports, harbour and fishing harbour, and then Takrady, Secondary. And so you ask whether the owners are
whether they are Ghanaian trawlers or they are foreign.
I would say they are Ghanaians.
Okay.
Because on our documents, the name of the owner of the vessel is a Ghanaian.
So we are not, by law, we don't allow foreigners fish in our sea?
No.
So if you have seen fishing in Ghana's sea, you must be Ghanaian?
You are a Ghanaian.
Okay. So that's why the laws of the ministry in Ghana governs
but
them.
they collaborate with the foreigners.
Okay.
But they are, do I say fronting? Yeah, they front for them.
Okay. So the first crime at sea, or the first offense at sea, is transshipment. What other offenses are there that you regulate or that you have to deal with? Yes,
when we talk about the artisanal, they also use chemicals in fishing, dynamite, DDT, and they also use unauthorized fishing nets. That's the monofilaments. But we have every water with its prescribed fishing nets.
The dynamite part, what they do is they blast it, the fish die, and they collect. What is wrong with that? Because they are looking for fish.
A lot of wrongs with it, because when it happens, like, they are not able to even bring the fish out. Everything. Oh, okay. Some die under the water, and as they keep dying, it also creates other issues with the environment. Apart from that, dynamite, you cannot consume dynamite. And so when they blast it and then they catch the fish and sell to us, it's also, not good for...
And the DDT too.
The DDT is not good for our health.
So the nets as well, you regulate for them and tell them this is the number of inches you should go with. Yes. But they still breach that.
They still do it.
Okay. How do you step in then, or how did you step in as a ministry for these particular offenses?
With the trawler, when I took office, the first close season that we had, I told them that I was not going to allow it. So we did a year auditing, and we realized that their fishing years were very small size. So we asked them to change, and we gave them the prescribed one, and they've changed them. And also told them that's the trawlers. They used to be at sea for about 3 months. Now these days we give them 30 days. By the 30th day, you should be at anchorage.
You should report.
You should report.
Which means that we know every vessel on the water.
Yes.
And we can time you.
We can. In fact, we have a VMS.
What is that?
That's vessel monitoring system.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So we track them when they are on the sea.
So wherever the vessels are,
we are able to track them.
Do you also put people on the vessel?
We have observers there.
That's are they from EPA, from Fisheries Commission, or ministry?
They are from Fisheries Commission.
So they are supposed to check what? That
they are checking. They have to check the activities of the crew.
And they'll be with them for the whole month.
For the whole month.
Can't they be compromised?
Well, they are human.
Because there was a story some time ago we followed where they said an observer went to sea with, I think it was a Chinese vessel. He never came back. There was a whole allegation about what may have happened to him. How do you deal with matters like that?
Yeah, I've heard about that issue, and it's still under investigation. So the police is still, they've not come out with their full report to me. And so I will not touch much on it. But this time around, we monitor them. But we are even adding AIS, live activities monitoring. So you have to put camera on your vessel. So we are even piloting it. And so when you go to the sea with the observer, The observer is supposed to take note of every activity that goes on in the vessel, on the sea. The fish that you are able to harvest, they should be able to report. They will record it because they have a recording logbook that they record everything. And this time, tomorrow evening, I'm even going to have a meeting with the vessel owners that whatever is caught at the sea, they should report. Whether they are rates, whatever, they should bring them.
Okay.
With everything, they should land them.
Okay.
Because we don't want to have a situation whereby they will be throwing those waste back into the sea. They should land them so that we can
dispose it
properly. So we are giving them that too. And so when you go and you do any infraction, that is by throwing into, that is dumping at sea, we find you. And so, but with the cycle or the transshipment we are talking about, since I gave these directives, I've not heard about it until recently. And I'm even taking that vessel owner up because we say after some multiple of infraction, your vessel will have to be off of the sea.
How do you monitor on the high seas? You are a minister in ministries at Accra. Which people do the monitoring for you at sea, apart from the observers? They just observe and report.
Yes.
Which people enforce the law at sea for us?
We have our NCS department. They are also at Tema. They are in charge. You go to their office, they have screens of television, screens in there, yeah. And they connect, we put the device on the vessel. And so we are able to communicate with them when they are there. Okay. So all the activities, we are able to monitor it. But it's not like the camera one, what we want to put.
What's the role of our Navy in the fights?
Yeah, the Navy will only be there when there is a report. They are not supposed to always be on the vessel. But maybe if there is a report of piracy, then they will be on board to monitor them. But on our enforcement units, we work with the Navy, so they also monitor them. They check. Together with them, we inspect the vessel before they depart for fishing.
Now let's talk about the artisanal and the other one is called what?
The inshore.
The inshore people. How do you ensure they don't do the DDT thing and the dynamite? Because that one, they'll smuggle it on board, go to the deep sea and blast it there. How do you prevent that from happening as a ministry and for that matter, the sector controlling the area?
That is a major issue for the sector as we speak. And so we sent a memo to Cabinet and government has given approval that we should be able to get some patrol boats. So because you can only monitor at the shore, you cannot monitor on ICs. And we are still talking about purchasing of this equipment. But then when they bring the fish to land, we are able to identify fish that, because you see the fish deteriorating.
So you know how it was killed. We
are also thinking of buying some chemicals and equipment that can be tested. The fish can be tested to know whether it's a chemical
that killed it.
That killed it. But so we are putting all those things.
When I'm entering the aeroplane, I can't go with liquid, nothing. They check everything. If they really move from our shore to go on this, why don't you have people where they all hands up? Let me check you whether you have dynamites on you. Can't you do something like that, or it will be difficult?
Well, let me tell you that these fisher folks, I don't know how to describe them, but they are really difficult and very smart. You inspect their vessel before they move. Even generator that we say they should not do light fishing, you inspect and make sure there's nothing there. By the time the person comes back, you see
there's
generator.
A generator. How do they get it there?
Yes, so what they do, they collaborate with each other. So when one vessel is moving, the moment the person is being inspected, then the other will meet him on the other.
So they work together.
They work together, and that is why we were talking about getting these other speedboats to be able to monitor them on the sea. When they know you are there to monitor them, you can bump on them at any time. They will be very careful, and so that is the issue that we are facing now.
So for the first 2 years or 3 years you have been at the ministry, what would be the biggest challenge you solved that you are really excited about?
Well, my biggest challenge that I say I'm happy that I've been able to solve One is the transshipment on sea. And then 2 is the issue of the premise. We are almost done with the diversion issue.
Okay,
yeah.
That's actually what I'm going to come to next. This is Face to Face on City TV. My name is Umaru Sandamado. My guest is the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, the Honorable Hawa Mavis Koomson. When we come back, we'll talk about the premix diversion, premix automation. Premix is a political issue. It's a big deal. In fact, members of parliament have lost their seats because of premix. Why is government distributing premix, and how would that distribution be done so that it is not laced with corruption? That's the next topic we're discussing when we come back. Please stay with us.
City TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access City TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and Star Times box. City TV, it's your world.
You're welcome back. This Face to Face on City TV. My guest is the Minister in charge of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development. Now, premixed fuel is the oxygen and the live wire of your sector. But again, premixed fuel has become a problem. I mean, I always hear about premixed fuel from Kufuor's time, Atamil's time, and it continues till now. What are
You didn't mention John Mahama.
Oh,
You said Atamil's, you didn't mention
John Mahama was Atamil's deputy. So what is this? This is your own. This is your own brother. I'm not going to come between the two of you. When you go back to Savannah region and you are doing your matter, I'm not doing something. So I notice you have done some premix automation. Before then, this issue of distribution of premix, does government sell premix to fishers, or you give it to them for free, or you subsidize? How does it work, the premix?
Thank you. Well, before I will talk about the premise issue, let me also touch on the issue that we discussed, this artisanal and then
Yes.
You know, we used not to have closed season in this country. It was there before we came, but it wasn't easy for people to even abide by the law. So when I took over office, I had meetings with my directors or the technocrats. And then I invited the fishers too and told them, because we know that, like I mentioned earlier, the fishery is depleted in the sea. So what do we do to rebuild the sea? And so they said we have to observe closed season scientifically, and they themselves. That's why they even referred me to that when the chief said they should observe, or they should not be on sea, they should not do fishing on Tuesday. These were some of the reasons. But these days, it's like everybody is doing fishing all day, all the time. And so we introduced the closed season, and they have been very supportive.
So the closed season is where you prevent people from going to fish?
From going to fish for 1 month.
For 1 month?
Yeah, but basically it's just about 2 weeks.
You stagger it, don't you? So you let the inshore, inland and the artisanals, they have a different closed season from the, or the trawlers
we don't observe closed season in the inland.
Okay.
I didn't explain to you who are the inland are.
That's the river bodies.
That's the freshwater,
okay,
yes.
okay,
yes, I didn't talk about. So for them, we are not tackling them now.
Okay, when I say I mean artisanal and the one in the middle.
Artisanal, the inshore.
Inshore is
the inshore and the artisanal, they observe for 1 month.
Together.
Together. That is for the month of July. Then the trawler people also observe for 2 months, from July to the end of August. And as we speak, they are still at anchorage. They are not giving their licenses because of some infractions. Some of them have infractions, and I said we'll be having a meeting with them tomorrow to solve all these issues before they can be giving their license to go for their fishing.
The reason the technical people have told us that is the period the fish reproduce.
Yes.
So you don't want them to catch the fish and their eggs.
Yes.
And it means reproduction will cease.
Exactly.
Okay. When that happens, a canoe owner, no matter where they are, pram or lepuno, they cannot enter the water.
No, they don't have to.
If they do, what happens to them?
The enforcement unit to arrest them.
So you have an enforcement unit?
We have enforcement units.
So you can catch
comprises with the Navy, the police, and then the fisheries staff.
So during that period, you can't even enter 1 kilometer of water and go and catch fish?
No, you don't have to.
What do you want to hook line?
No, nothing. There's nothing.
No fishing
whatsoever. No fishing.
And do they obey?
Some are reconstructed, but we are able to manage them. It's about 90 to 93, 95%
support
compliance. Yeah.
I see. Now, during that period, where do we get our fish from? That means if I buy kinky, the fish will be more expensive because the demand is high.
Not really, because even as they do the fishing, we still import fish in the country. The fish in the country is not sufficient.
Really?
And that's where we talk about aquaculture. And so when we say the fish is not sufficient in the country, what do we do to bridge the gap of demand and supply? We have to introduce the aquaculture.
What is
that
aquaculture?
Is the rearing of fish.
So people doing fish farming?
Fish farming.
Tilapia and those things?
Tilapia and catfish.
Okay.
And so when you do those things, then you use it to complement.
But we have a lot of fish. We have the Volta River, we have the Black Volta.
In fact, the illegalities in the Volta River is even serious than that of the
What do they
marine.
do?
They also use chemicals, bamboo, and a lot of things are going on.
Then it's a nyama.
A while ago, I read a letter from the National Security. The illegalities are there.
How can you solve that?
It's a problem, so I have to take the matter to Cabinet and also the Committee of Parliament for us to discuss, because it's like the inland, that's those with the fresh water, they think for them they are untouchable. They are not part of the regulations.
They don't get regulated.
And so whatever we are doing, they are not part. But we also have to go after them and let them know that the right thing must be done. Because if the fish in the fresh water is also depleted, what do you do? What do you live on?
So you don't close them, right?
We don't close them, but we will try to do it.
These people you close, have you done a test? You've started this closing for like 2-3 years now. What hard results have you had to say that, oh, this is a benefit of closed season that we can point to?
Well, before the closed season, our science department normally do some research and get us the data. And when we do the closed season too, we get it. When we open, we also have the data. And so it tells you the weight is being increased gradually. And the size of the fish. Maybe previously around that time, if you were to cut a fish, the size might be small. But now it's a bit bigger. So we always compare the length of the fish and the species that we get. Some of the species are no more at all. But now they are coming up gradually. So
you have a team that monitors that?
Yeah, we have
so
a research
So you have a way of
department.
Checking whether it's useful exercise or not?
Yes.
Okay. So the closed season is over.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the people who go to the fish, to go and fish.
Yeah.
The premix matter.
Yes.
Premix, do you give it to the fishermen for free? How does the premix thing work?
It's almost like for free, because government pays for more than 50%. And they pay for the rest of the percentage. It used to be 80-20. Government pays for 80%. Government pays for 80%, and the fisher folks pays for 20%. But when the fuel crisis came somewhere last year, we had discussion with them. The government was suffering too much to pay under the recovery. So they agreed that if only the fuel will be available for them, they don't mind doing 50-50 with government. And so
you have brought the people hardship.
Oh no.
Mahama was giving them 80-20. You're giving them 50-50.
If it were to be at that time, Mama would not have been able to give them 10%.
Hey, are you sure?
Because when there was no Ukraine-Russia issue in the world, we could not even have fuel for electricity. To generate electricity.
No, that's electricity. But the fishermen,
it's the same fuel they use.
They were getting their blue premix.
No, it's the same fuel they use.
Okay.
It's the same fuel.
What's the difference between premix and super? Because I've been told
it's the super and then the marine mixture that they just do some mixture.
Because I've heard
that's why they
put it in their cars.
The blue, exactly. The blue is when you put the blue in your car, definitely it will give you an issue. And that is why they put in the blue. To prevent, yeah.
But it's still happening.
It's still happening, not that much.
How does it operate? You let them load that from Tor, right?
They load from Tor to the landing beach.
Controls it, or
it's MPA. We give allocation to Tor, but MPA also operate, they give order for us to get it.
So NPA transport is for you?
Not transporting it. We have the transporters.
How does the chain work?
Okay, let's do it this way. It's, the NPA is a regulator, okay? And Fisheries also deals with the fishermen. So we give the allocation to suppliers. There are OMCs that come to us, and they are the exporters, okay? So they come, we send the allocation to TOR, and TOR will now report to NPA that Fisheries is demanding or requesting for this number of vehicles of fuel
Tankers, okay,
to this place. So NPA will also approve it. Then there are blenders. They are the people that do the mixture together with the TOR people. So the owner of the BDC will now give out the fuel, that is the petrol, and then with the marine oil. So then the TOR will do the mixture for them. Then they will now sell it to the OMCs, but the OMC will not pay full. So if the whole tank is about 50,000, the OMC will pay 15,000. Then the rest of the 35,000 will be paid by government.
Okay, okay, that's what happens.
That's what happens.
Then NPA puts trackers on these tankers.
Yeah, NPA has trackers, but the trackers are removable, so sometimes it doesn't even get there.
Oh, so you are sitting now watching a tracker, but the fuel is at a different place.
Yes, well, because I'm told what they do is when they move from TOR, they stop at a point and take off the tracker, put it on a motorbike. Then the motorbike will be driving, will ride towards where you are supposed to go. So then the tanker will go somewhere.
So in your head, the premix is going, but it's going to Jamaica.
It's going to Jamaica, that's it. So
I see. That's interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so how do you deal with that? Because you have landing beaches where you take the premix to.
Yes.
There used to be something called premix committee. I remember I went to Tema Newtown, Miami, and I saw a place where they have barrels of premix. That's how so they bring it there and these people sell it to them. Do you have government agents there monitoring to be sure that it is sold to Fisher? Or how does that work, Adam?
National security is supposed to be there. And then, do they call them NIB now? The BNI?
Yeah, national,
yeah.
Is NIB.
They are also supposed to be around to monitor the activities. Now, the Landing Beach Committee are there. And from TOR we also have, and then Fisheries and Premier Secretariat work together. We also have our staff from the Premier Secretariat who is also there to make sure that the fuel gets there.
The allegation is that these landing beach committees are party boys that you have just put there so that they can get to know Kofio. And so that's why things become a mess.
Well, it's not totally true. But the issue is, you see, when we talk about the coastal area, we have more NDCs than even NPP.
That is true.
Okay.
They defeated you
and
in the last election.
And these are the people that are there. The chief fisherman might be an NDC.
No, but when you are in power, you put your people there. When NDC is power, they also put their people there.
That's what I'm saying. How many NPP people are there?
Oh, but you still have some. You've won.
But you cannot do it without the chief fisherman. The chief fisherman is there forever. You cannot change the chief fisherman.
Okay. So who are the members of the committee?
So if the members of the committee are supposed to be 7, maybe all you know, party faithful, maybe 1 or 2 persons there. That's all. For that one, I cannot say.
But you deliberately put party people there.
We don't.
You don't.
We don't because sometimes they work with the assembly. So the assembly will have its rep there. Okay. And I think maybe that is where the...
So these people are supposed to sell the fuel to the
fishers, yeah.
Okay. How then does it not get to the fishers? Because the landing beach is just on the water like that, and yet we hear that there's diversion. How does that happen?
Yeah, you see.
And there's hoarding as well.
You know, because government pays the subsidy. If the person takes all you know, the OMC just paid 15,000. Okay, so when he gets there, whoever meets him and say he's taking the fuel, he gives it to the person. Okay. But they also benefits. The OMCs, I mean the truck, the truck owner or the driver also is not the owner. Let me be fair to the owner.
The one running the...
is the driver. Okay. They also benefit. So they take the fuel, go and sell it and get their money. Okay, so if they should even sell it at the 50,000, not more, still government is at a loss. Because the 35,000 that government says is giving to the people has not reached the people. But somebody has gone to sell it full track, 50,000 and taking it away. And we also have the hoarding. The chief fishermen or the landing beach committee members, when it comes, instead of them to give everything to the fishers, they will rather say protocol, I'm the chief, I'm the blah blah. Then one person will take about 6 drums. And all you know, the truck contains about less than 60 drums. And so if you alone, you take 60. Someone will say takes 2, 3, but by the end of the day, about 30 drums.
So you have brought premix, but the people who need it are not getting it. So then if someone else sells it to them at a higher price.
At a higher price.
They need to go.
Yes, because when he goes to audit a day or 2 after, he brings it out and sell it at a higher price.
You and the vice president went to Elmina to launch the automation, premix automation. What were you trying to solve with that?
In fact, we are trying to solve the issue of the diversion, hoarding, and then fire outbreak, risk of fire outbreak. Like I said earlier, we realize that sometimes the fuel doesn't get to the people that are supposed to have it. And so the government is still paying money. At the end of the day, government, last year for instance, government paid over 500 million
for premix.
For premix under recovery. Meanwhile, it did not get to the people. And so why would government make sure that it uses other strategies to prevent all those things? And so the vice president tasked the ministry and led by me as the minister to make sure that we are able to solve the problem. So we brought in the vendors and they also took us through as how we'll be able to automate the fuel and the people will get it. And so that was what we did commission last week with the vice president. Now what we are doing is I'll be monitoring the delivery from Tor to the landing beach. Whatever quantity they take, I will be in the know. Okay. So when they get to the landing beach and discharge, I will know that yes, they went in for 13,500 or 27,000 liters. Yes, they have delivered 27,000 liters. Now, any fisher that is supposed to have the fuel is being given a card, an ID card, with all his data being synchronized with the canoe number. And so it's the card that he will use to swap on the machine. And then the pump attendant will also swap his card on the machine before he will be able to get the fuel. So if, let's say, the person is buying fuel about 20 liters, which is 50 Ghana cedi or 10 Ghana cedi, then they will enter. When they enter, then you swap the card. Then the pump attendant will also swap the card. And then it will be drawn for him.
So you can't just carry jerry can or kufor gallon and go with...
No. It's going to be a thing of the past.
But you would pay with cash?
We will pay with cash. In fact, last week when the vice president realized that we've not done that, he was furious on me. And he tasked the team that we should immediately work on, for them to pay the money through
Momo?
Well, if it is Momo or eSwitch, because we don't have to be taking the money there.
Oh, okay. So the attendant should not collect cash there?
No, but for now, that's what the attendant...
So if I'm a fisherman, how do I get my card? Did you give
they have the card.
So you've given cards to...
We've given to them.
All fishermen or some fishermen?
In fact, those where we have the premix automation, we have given them. We are still working on all the other landing.
So wait, at the Elmina station, for instance, no fisherman can buy fuel without the card.
Without the card.
And all fishermen have the card.
They have the cards.
And the card has their details and the canoe details.
Everything.
So they come, swipe it, the attendant swipes, and then they dispense.
They'll be able to,
Then you will make payments.
You make the payment.
The percentage that the government is taking will take it out. Then you pay how, if it's 20 cedis,
you pay your 20 cedis.
And then you take your fuel into your canoe.
Yes.
And then you are gone.
Yeah.
That is how you are planning to make it happen.
Yes.
What percentage of fishermen in Ghana have had this process done? What I mean is that you have so many landing beaches on the coast. How many landing beaches have been automated?
So far, about 50 of it.
50 out of about how many?
300.
And this is
but it will not be the 300 because we'll have to merge some of them. Like Elmina, for instance, we have about 6 landing beach. And instead of giving them 6 at every landing beach, you have made it 3.
Okay.
So instead of 6, it's now 3.
Okay.
So one machine will have 2 landing beach.
Okay. So it takes care of 2 landing beaches.
2 landing beaches.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, we will not be doing the 300,
okay,
but a little over 200. Like, how do you call it, automation machines.
So, and you would also do this for inland people like Germany?
Yeah, they are all part. They are all part.
So
of
that one day, everybody must get some.
Everybody must get.
What about the registration of the fishermen? How is that going? Is it their Ghana card or is it a different card?
We are using the Ghana card, the ID, voters ID card, and then we'll do it. So
those are the cards you use to produce a fisherman card for you?
Yes.
How many fishermen have those cards in Ghana now?
I cannot say it's off head, but I know so far we have around 500. Was even Elmina alone, there are more than 300.
Do we know how many fishermen are in Ghana? Do we have a number we are working with?
There are more than 20,000.
20,000. Okay, so it's a process. You are getting them registered, and you are giving them these cards.
Yes.
And so if they don't have, what is the feedback that you've gotten from the fishermen so far, where you've been piloting this?
They are very happy, very, very happy. And so they were all along anticipating that by now we should even have been done with the process.
So that's what they are looking for. Things are looking smooth.
Yes.
No challenges.
No challenges.
We will not expect to hear challenges coming up.
No challenges. Because we don't have challenges, the land that is even given for the construction, we tell them that government is taking the land and process it, because we don't want individuals to even come and claim the project. Mm-hmm. And so when you give out the land, then we'll take the land and process it in the name of government.
What happens to the premise committees? Because now they will not be needed. You are sacking them you are not taking job from them?
They will still be around.
What will be their role? So who is going to man these new automation centers?
You see, even before the automation center, it's only the secretary and the pump attendant who are working. The chief fisherman is the chairperson. He makes sure that the fuel is being distributed or shared to everybody. Okay. So it's a committee. Okay. And so we cannot dissolve that committee. Okay. They will continue to be there. Mm-hmm. The pump attendant, who is part of the committee, will be there. He is the one who will be swapping his card for the fisherman to get his fuel. Mm-hmm. And so he will be there to still work. And the secretary that will be taking minutes of whatever is going on there. Okay.
So these automation centers, should we consider them as government-owned or private-owned?
It's government-owned.
So if I'm a private person and I say I live in Mahiam, I want to own an automation center, because it's like a fuel station, right? Why can't I?
You can't do it.
Why?
Because the premise is being delivered by government, and so the space should be for government to operate.
Okay. Do we have any anticipation of how much money we are going to save the government by this automation?
Yes, but I cannot say it, because I remember before we went to cabinet to talk about this automation, mm-hmm. we did all the analysis.
And so we are saving government money.
We are saving government money.
All right. This is.
Unfortunately, we used to use only the how do you call it, petrol, and then the marine oil to do the premise. Mm-hmm. Now, fortunately, the government has given us. Has allowed Ghana Gas to give us condensate. Okay. So that if we are using the marine and then the petrol will be 50. Marine, instead of marine being 50, marine will be 25, and then condensate will be 25. So it's still bringing government, the burden on government. Down. Yeah. Very
well. This is Face to Face on City TV. My guest is the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development. We're talking generally about premix distribution, the automation process. When we come back, she's also a politician representing the people of Awutu-Senya East. That's Kaswa constituency. I want to call it the Kaswa constituency, because Kaswa is a whole country on its own.
It's a republic.
It's a republic. We'll talk about journey to Kaswa and the problems associated with that. And breaking the 8, she's a staunch supporter of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The primaries coming up. How is that looking? Please stay with us.
City TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access City TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the Go TV and Star Times box. City TV, it's your world.
You're welcome back. This is Face to Face on City TV. My guest is a minister, but also a member of parliament. I'm sure as MPP is trying to break the 8, you're also trying to break Kaswa. How is the constituency looking for you? Primaries coming up. Are you safe?
Yes, I'm safe by the grace of God. Let me say hi to my constituents, the chairman, the constituency executives, all the chiefs in Kaswa, especially Nayo Dupong, and the polling station executive members, electoral area coordinators, council of elders, patrons, all the members of Awutu Senior East Kaswa. You have
a woman who contested you the last time from the NDC side. She's lacing her boots. She said this time she'll remove you. Are you sure you can?
She's not lacing her boots. Mine is already on.
You've laced your boots already.
After the election, I never removed my boots. It has been on since then. So if she's now lazing, by the time she'll finish lazing, I'll be very far.
But what are the things we can point to in the constituency and say, because of Hawa Koomson, these are the things that have been done?
A lot of things. A lot. Sometimes, I don't know, I even forget some of them. But currently, what I'm doing, one of the major projects I'm doing is the police headquarters for the regional headquarters, single-handedly.
The new region, Central, East,
region,
is
Central,
Central?
Yeah, putting up a very big building for them so that it can accommodate them.
Why are you building a police station for the police service? You are a politician. Would that not be amounting to compromising the police service?
No. I'm doing it for the people of Awutu Senior East. Because when we talk about crime these days, Kaswa is not exception. And so we need these policemen to be there to protect lives and properties. And after creating the region, we realized that we don't have accommodation there. And so they were sent to Nyenyano, where the Pentecost Center is, that far. And so if there is any issue and the Kaswa division needs more hands, before these people will come from that far, something might have happened. And so we want them in the center of the town so they can operate from every corner.
Your township, Kaswa, it is outgrowing itself, isn't it? How do you deal with Kaswa as a township?
Kaswa just have to be managed. You know, it's a cosmopolitan area. In a day, more than 7 families move into Kaswa. Okay.
Every day?
Every day. So 7 by 7 by times 30 days.
Times 365.
You can imagine. And so it's something that government will really need to have a look at it. And because of the way Kaswa grew faster, we lack a lot of things, a lot of amenities. But thankfully, we have been able to get some of the access roads. Contractors are on the road. Water, we are getting potable water. When we talk about school, for that one day,
you have schools.
You know, we have a lot of schools.
What you don't have is traffic management. Why is it that when people are going to Kaswa, they go through hell? And even continuing through Budumburam, what is the problem? Because I see dual carriage, all right, but it's still...
The issue is not from, this time around, it's not in Kaswa itself, it's from Budumburam.
Because you have a flyover now.
Exactly. But then, when you are entering into Budumburam, you know, because of the way Budumburam is and the road, so the trotro drivers will stop by the road. And you know, the police, they are also human. When they work, they get tired.
So it's a discipline issue.
And the central region is one of the major roads in the country, especially weekends. People going for funerals, and you know, we have a lot of big schools in the central region. So parents going to visit their children.
So there's traffic.
Traffic. So the traffic starts from the Budumburam.
But there's even one before your Kaswa toll booth. That's also another problem. From Odoko going, that's also a problem.
That is from the McCarthy Hill to how do you call it? Bawe.
Okay. How do you deal with those?
That one is not part of my constituency.
My proposal is that you should put water taxes on the sea so that people who live in Kaswa just go to the beach, board a water taxi, let it bring you to Accra.
Well, government is looking at so many options. We are looking at railways, a lot of options, and also reconstructing the road.
I see.
Yeah, so it has been discussed, especially with the Budumburam one.
So you are safe that you will win the primaries and you win your parliamentary seat?
For the primaries, it's a done deal.
Okay.
But I know by the grace of God, the general election will also be a done deal.
You want to break the 8? Yes. Why do you think Bawumia is the one to break the 8 for you and not your brother from Central Region, Kennedy Japan?
Bawumia is the very one who can break the 8 because he has worked with Akufo-Addo, the president. He has been his mate, okay? He knows where we started from and where we are now. So he has the story to tell. Apart from Bawumia, nobody can tell the story of the government. And that is why we are all supporting him. The good things, the gains that we've made for the country, it's only Bawumia who can tell the story.
What about the critics who say that he's part of the problem? He's part of the Akufo-Addo problem.
How is
so
he
if
part
Akufo-Addo is going home, everybody with Akufo-Addo go home, including his ministers, everybody go home. No. Let's see a fresh face.
No, then everybody will go. Everyone. No, he's also part of the government.
He's not, he's an MP.
He's a board chair.
Oh, just one small board that he's chairing.
He's part of it. He takes decision. He directs government policy over there. So he's part of it.
Is the support for Bawumia because of, okay, you are not a Muslim. Is it because of where he comes from? Is that why you think?
No. But what about the Akans who are supporting him too? You saw the vote he got in Asante region, Eastern region.
Those were just 900 people who voted, though. The 200,000.
But the 900 people represent a constituency. I'm a constituency. I'm an MP. I have 1,500 delegates under me, and I'm representing. My chairman was there. We are representing the constituency. So every member that voted for him has a constituency.
So your votes reflect what the grassroots...
Yes.
There's a view that, if you open it up to 200,000, he will not lose.
That is not true. He will not lose. He will win. The margin will be even bigger.
You trust that?
I know.
Let's talk about...
We've tested the grounds and we know what it is.
You are very confident.
He's also, you see, fortunately for Bawumia, he's loved by a lot of people too. A lot of people admire the way he does his. If he's part of the government, yes, he's only a vice. He's only supporting the president. He has no say. And that is why you see when the president is not there, Bawumia cannot chair cabinet meeting. It tells you he cannot assent to any document.
Unless president says...
Unless president says he should do it for him.
So now you want to give him to be in charge so that he can do it?
So when he is in charge, then he can take decision on his own. Now he only does what President Akufo-Addo asked him to do.
We have to go now, but Hawa Koomson, when that name is mentioned, people have various interpretations to who you are.
Yes, that is how it should be.
That's how it should be.
Yes.
It's better that way. Do you want to demystify Hawa Koomson?
No, Hawa Koomson should be there like that.
Is Hawa Koomson from the north, the south, the east, or the west?
Hawa Koomson is from the central and the north.
So central and the north. So are you Fanti?
I'm not Fanti.
What are you?
By marriage, I'm Fanti.
So that's why you are Koomson?
That's why I'm Koomson.
So originally you were what?
I'm a Northerner.
So from
originally
where?
I was Abdullahi.
So you were Hawa?
Abdullahi.
Mavis, Hawa. Or you didn't have Mavis inside your name?
The Mavis was used at school, but I didn't use it officially.
Okay.
And when I got married and converted to Christianity, then I added
chose the Mavis.
Yes.
So you're from where in the north?
From Bimbila and Salaga.
Oh, I see. Bimbila is Konkomba people. Are you a Konkomba?
No, Bimbila is not Konkomba. Bimbila is
Nanum,
yeah.
Forgive. So you're in Nanum?
Yeah, I'm Nanum and Gonja.
I see. And Gonja.
Yes.
But you speak Hausa?
I speak Hausa because Salaga, that's the language that is.
So Gonja, John Mahama. So you and John Mahama are cousins?
No.
Oh, but he's Gonja.
We are from the same area, but we are not related.
But I mean, what I mean is that he's your brother.
Well, he's my brother. So we are all Ghanaians, and we are all.
So why are you not supporting him?
Oh, I'm an MPP member. How can I go and support an NDC?
But he's your brother from
No,
Gonja.
no, that's not how we do it. That's not how we do it. Maybe that's why I'm supporting Bawumi.
You speak many languages. Whenever I see you, I think of Otiko Jaba. She also speaks a lot of languages.
She's also a Gonja woman.
Yeah, she's also Gonja.
Yes.
So you speak Hausa, you speak Robo?
No.
You don't speak, but you speak Gan.
Yes.
You speak Gan?
I speak Gan.
We wish you all the best in the ministry. We'll come back to you in 2024 to see how far you've taken the ministry. All the best, and thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you so much. And thank you for coming too.
Thank you. That's Honorable Mavis Hawa, Koomson, Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development and Member of Parliament for Awutu Senya East in the Central Region. My name is Umaru Sandabado. Thank you for watching Face to Face on City TV. It's your world.